Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So today is Friday the 13th, so I want to go over the strangeness that is happening in my portfolio. So on April 27th, I did a video to go over my portfolio as a review, and it was at $38,000. And my portfolio as of tonight is $2,240,000. So these things are not quite like the other. And I want to explain what happened because it felt like I got the news that I got laid off, and then I panicked and chewed holes in the wall and the couch and put a hole in the door and did this to my finances. And then all of a sudden I have final interviews and it was not necessary. But that's remained to be seen. And I think I'm in a better position now to, even if I get a job, to, be retired for real in a year and a half. So here's the portfolio. I was actually, before I got laid off, expecting a check in the mail because it turns out that I had a check from the closed account from my failed business. And then I got one of those periodic checks that you get from insurance companies when they haven't had that many claims and they have to give you back money. So that was $2,000. And then I'm able to take out $16,000 from my IRA without penalty. So I took out $14,000. Then my last paycheck in May, plus everything that was above $6,000 in my checking account, that was $3,900. And then in the most controversial move that I've made, $39,121 was from Bitcoin that I sold. And I'll probably wind up doing a whole video about this, but I did an indirect, or at least I'm in the process of doing an indirect rollover from my traditional IRA that I had at Vanguard. So how that works is they took a 10% of the total, and they're going to use that for taxes. So I received $111,705.05 from my traditional IRA, and I'm still responsible for putting $124,000 into a new IRA so that I don't get the 10% penalty and I don't have to pay income taxes on that amount. But whatever amount I don't return to an IRA will just get that 10% penalty and I'll have to pay income tax. It's not like if I don't return every single penny that I get taxed on the whole thing. It's just whatever is outstanding. So in total, that was $178,166.21 that I have added to my account since May 15th. And did I tell you about the 401k loan? I did talk about the 401k loan before, I think. I talked to the provider. They let me just pay it back like normal and not lump sum it since I've left the company. So I have it set up so that both of those 401k loans, I'm just going to pay the monthly minimum. It's like if it was invested in bonds and I'm getting a guaranteed return on that. And then at the end, I'll have that money. So yeah, that's $178,000. And I was waiting because I did input $178,000, I was expecting my withdrawable cash to be around more than $178,000, because I thought that's how Robinhood worked, that like the money that you invest and then plus your distributions become withdrawable cash, even with with the margin and everything. But I only have $103,000 of withdrawable cash, so I talked to support tonight and they were like, no, all of your transactions are done, nothing's pending, and they think it's the options collateral that's making it so that I don't have more cash available. But since I do have 60 days to figure this out, that is a beginning of July problem for me. The reason why I didn't stop after a while was, well, if I'm going to take the full $124,000, I only have $133,000 of margin buffer. So that doesn't leave me a lot of wiggle room in here. So I wanted to have more invested so that I wouldn't get margin called instantaneously, basically. And then my condo is back on the market. And yes, I am spinning a lot of wheels trying to get around what my condo is going to do, because without my condo, my required, minimum required for making money is like $5,000. But if I have to be making enough money that if my tenant doesn't pay for whatever reason, like he decides to leave because I'm doing showings, or he loses his job and I have to evict him, I have to then make $14,000. So there's like a big difference between what I'm responsible for on my own in this life and then what I need to make up for the condo. And that's what being a house poor is like. So I want the $60,000 it'll take me to, that I'm short on my sale, to be able to just pay that. So I thought I could do that with this, but I don't think it's working out that way. But I'll worry about that when I get an offer and I know exactly the amount of money, because it might look like, well, if you just withdrew that IRA money, you would have been paying that $60,000 of taxes and 10% penalty anyway. Or if I'm employed, I could probably take out a personal loan. There's a lot of ways I can solve my condo issue, but I am just very keen to just not have that on my plate as a thing to worry about anymore. So I think it'll work out this way. And I do have plans. Like if I get the job and I'll have this over $100,000 of margin, so the job can pay for my regular bills and everything, and then whatever I make in here, I'll pay off the loan but also reinvest, because margin loans are not the worst thing that's ever happened. It's when you have like the margin loan but it's not investing anything, so it's not making you any money. That's when it's not as good. So I just don't want the margin balance to balloon. So yeah, that's the goal. If I don't have a job though, and I do wind up doing my hobbies full time and doing more yield might and everything like that, then I will probably put this money that is going in the IRA into high income ETFs, and then just take a few $1,000s out every month to help me pay off the interest that's been accruing. Mostly because it's not the 10% penalty that's the issue for me. It's like, where's the principle of this? I want that $100,000 to be behind the retirement paywall when I'm done. But I don't want to actually just like take money I haven't earned out of my IRA, but if I have high income ETFs and I'm making I get money from a distribution, to me, paying a 10% penalty to get that distribution amount is just not as bad. And if it helps me get my margin buffer better so that the next time there's a 10% correction, I don't get margin called and have to liquidate my IRA to pay for the margin, it's worth the 10% not to have to spin cycles worrying about any of that. So, I did actually, after I talked to the support person, look at my margin, or like what should be in the margin. And if we don't take my options into account, I should have $549,000 of total margin. But if we take the options into account, because they're not marginable, the multiple becomes only 2.8% as opposed to just over 3%. So then that's like $505,000. So that's like, I just had all the questions in the world because I have, $223,000 and then an additional $200,000. So it's not quite $500,000 of like total that I can take out. So it just is what it is. And if I want a more accurate picture of like what buying power and everything is available, I would just close all my options just to see how that works out. But I like the options that I have out open, so it's fine. Anyways, today and also I was projecting that with this amount, with the $220,000, that I'd be making around $12,000 per month, which puts me pretty comfortably in I want to make income that's double what I need for my daily expenses. So far this month, I made $5,875, so I am on track. I'm still down almost $2,000 because of fixing the SPY leaps, though. So today in Financial Philharmonics, life is not an MMORPG. Not everything has to be absolutely perfect for you to go on and live your life. So it's a chiptune. I need to put that song genre down, but And then the ambassador of Quan is doing a interview today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I will try to be there, just so I know what the interviewing is like, and hopefully you'll be there too. Anyway, so have you heard about an indirect rollover, and would you like to learn more about it? And I'll talk to you later. Bye.